remember, if I can cook it, so can you. So go nowhere. Let's create. So this is going to be a Puerto Rican meal that reminds me of my grandmother in Puerto Rico when she was alive and I was a child. And this one is going to involve steak, Puerto Rican style, white beans, sweet plantain, and white rice. And no worry, I'm going to sectionalize, put it in sections, this video because I'm going to show you how to cook each so you have an entire meal. So for the steak, in Puerto Rico, steak are not thick. You know, poor people, you just get the thin cut. I had 2 pieces here, they cook very fast. And the key here is to have the steak that you need. And I'm going to have a tablespoon of vinegar, salt, and pepper. And of course, you're going to probably need a little bit of oil, okay? Which I'm going to put here, extra virgin olive oil. Rice, I have 1 cup. Size of the rice don't matter. Medium, I tend to like better, but I'm going to go with long because I'm going to show you I can cook with long rice. And because it's 1 cup of rice, I'm going to have about 1.5 cups of water, or 1 cup and 1/4 will work too. For the plantain, I have a very, very ripe plantain. And you're going to need oil. I prefer vegetable oil. Corn oil would do it too. It's lower cost than the extra virgin olive oil, so I'd rather use this for that. And of course, I'm going to have the beans. The beans, if you go dry, make sure you soften them up. But if you go with a can, that's fine too. Just take the water out. This is about 15 ounces. I have a very small potato, which I peel and cut in small sizes. I have about a tablespoon of red bell pepper, sweetness, a bay leaf. I have some sofrito. I created this a while ago, about 2 years ago, and look how beautiful it is. One of the best sofritos recipes, and I have that in my description so you can duplicate it. It lasts you forever, the way I created. And of course, I don't use fake stuff, so or pre-produced sazon, anything like that. So I create my own. So I have a quarter of a teaspoon each, 1/4 of a teaspoon each of salt, turmeric, smoked paprika, but you can use regular paprika, a coriander, cumin, and I have some, which is optional, some annatto grounded. And I have 1 garlic tooth, which I mince. And for my tomato sauce, I had a tomato which I grated because I prefer my tomato sauce natural. So once again, I come from humble beginnings, poor family. So the steak was like this thin. See how thin it is? So what we do is we put in a container, add your pepper, add a little bit of your salt to your taste, add your vinegar around so it doesn't wash the stuff out. And I like to add a few drops of extra virgin olive oil. And I mix everything up. You can put this aside overnight or just leave it out for, several minutes so it soaks the flavors, okay? So I have my cast iron here. You can use any type of pan. So what I'm going to do, it's preheating. I'm going to put the heat now a couple notches above medium. No oil, although you can put a few drops, but I'm not because I already put oil here. And this is very thin and it's going to cook fast. With some of the juice. And I say it's going to take about one side, maybe 30 seconds, 45 seconds, a minute. And the other, then you flip it and you do the same with the other side. So it took about 20 seconds each side. I don't want it to dry or whatever. Take it out, going to put in a paper plate for now. Bring the other one in. So I have a pot. This is for the beans, the white beans. And the first thing I'm going to do is preheat this medium high for about a minute. Going to use a little bit of extra virgin olive oil, just a tiny bit. You don't want this stuff swimming. See, just a few drops. Then I'm going to move it around. I'm going to add the sofrito. Link in my description. The pepper. I'm going to mix things around. There are different ways of doing this. I have other recipes. You can add meat or whatever. I'm going to keep it simple. I'm not going to overindulge. Now the sofrito have already onions, green peppers, cilantro, culantro. We have even garlic. So onions. So you have all those ingredients that I don't need now because I already have it there. You can add those ingredients again to kind of have the freshness if you have them. So this is sufficient. Now what I like to do now is to add the tomato sauce. And then I grab my spices and mix them up with a little brush. And I add it here too. Mix it up. Add your potatoes. Make sure those potatoes mix with the flavor. Add your beans. And because this is a stew, you're going to have to add some water, okay? Some people like it soupy. That's up to you. But look at these colors. Add water to how soupy you want it. You know, the stew. This is sufficient for me. Then what I'm going to do, I'm going to add the bay leaf. I'm going to give them a taste before start cooking. It's pretty good. But if you want to add a little bit more salt, now is the time. So I'm going to put a pinch. Just let it cook. Now you know this is cooked because you want the beans to be cooked. But by the same token, you're also going to want the potatoes to be soft. And the potatoes, because they longer, is what is going to tell you that this stuff is ready, okay? Put it a notch or so above medium. You can leave it at medium and let them cook, okay? These potatoes are ready. The beans are ready too. Because I can, squash them and see how, and they become soft, see? I know it's ready now. If you want to give it a final touch, that sometimes I do. You can get a handful of cilantro leaf, put it on top, put the heat at low, and let this cook for about an additional minute or 90 seconds to give it the earth smell and flavor. Ain't that beautiful? So for this very ripe plantains, cut the outside. You can make an incision. And just peel it. And this is very, very ripe. This is perfect. After you peel it, simply cut it in wedges. And this is very, very sweet. I can smell the sweetness. See the wedges? Pan, a hot heat, add them. If the oil is not covering them, then you know that you might have to flip them. And you make sure they cook, okay? If the oil doesn't cover them all, this one is, just turn it around like this. So it took about 3 minutes. Have a plate with some paper towel. Remove them. The purpose of the paper towel is for the oil to dry it up a little bit. Look at this beauty, huh? So for the rice, I'm going to add the water. I have the thing preheating in a high heat. I have a pot preheating in a high heat. Add the water. Add the rice. Make sure the rice is on the water. If you happen to have 2 cups of rice, then the amount of water is going to be about the same, but a little bit more. So when I put this in and I touch the rice, I have about 1/4 inch more water. So it's about a 1/4 cup or 1/2 cup more. You're going to let this boil. When it starts boiling, you're going to turn the heat down to medium, from high to medium. You can put salt if you want to, that's up to you. But that's what the beans are for. Turn it to medium and then you're going to cover it, okay? Once it starts boiling. So after about 5 or so minutes, the water, maybe even less, you're going to know that the water was steamed. So what you're going to do, you're going to stir this baby. It's not ready. Then you're going to cover again for about 3 minutes. Must have been 3 minutes already. So I'm going to turn them around carefully so it doesn't become a ball of sticky rice, you know what I mean? Cover again for about a minute or so and repeat the process. So after that minute, uncover it, see how grainy it is. You know it's ready by experience, or you taste it and they're soft, they're good to go. If it's still crunchy, they are not ready. You have to cover it in that case for another minute, because you want the water to dry it out, become steam, and this stuff is ready. Look at this rice. And if you want to add some avocado to it, that's up to you.